Ladies and gentlemen, life is filled with distractions. Every day, we are bombarded with the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others. But here's the truth. You cannot grow if you are constantly living for someone else. Real growth comes from within. It comes when you start focusing on yourself, your goals, your dreams, and your inner peace. This is not selfishness, it is necessary. It is the foundation of success, happiness, and fulfillment. When we focus on ourselves, we begin to understand who we really are, what we need, and what we desire. We are not defined by what others think or say. We define ourselves through our actions, our thoughts, and our decisions. By prioritizing ourselves, we are not only taking care of our physical and mental health, but also setting a path to achieve the life we truly want. Personal growth begins when we stop looking outside of ourselves for validation and start looking within. This is where true empowerment begins. For too long, society has conditioned us to seek approval from others. Whether it's from family, friends, or even strangers on social media, the constant need for external validation can cloud our judgment and steer us away from the path that is truly meant for us. When we focus on ourselves, we reclaim the power to define who we are and what we want from life. The first step in focusing on yourself is to understand that your journey is uniquely yours. You cannot compare your progress with others because their experiences are not yours. Everyone walks a different path. And when you constantly compare yourself to others, you lose sight of what you need for your own personal growth. Comparison only creates self-doubt and frustration, so stop comparing. Stop looking at others and measuring your worth based on their success. Focus on what you need to do to move forward. The next step is acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses. Understanding yourself deeply allows you to build on your strengths and work on your weaknesses. This isn't about self-criticism or judgment, it's about self-awareness. When you know what you are good at, you can leverage those strengths to create opportunities for yourself. Likewise, when you recognize your weaknesses, you can take the necessary steps to improve and grow. Self-awareness is the key to self-improvement. Focusing on yourself also involves setting clear, personal goals. These goals should align with your values and desires, not with what others expect from you. It's essential to be clear about what you want and what you are willing to work for. Without clear goals, you can easily become distracted or lost in the noise of life. When you focus on your own goals, you are less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others. Your goals will give you direction and purpose. Another crucial element of focusing on yourself is learning to trust your instincts. We are all born with intuition, a deep inner knowing that can guide us when we face difficult decisions. Unfortunately, many of us ignore our instincts in favor of seeking advice from others. While seeking guidance is important, it's equally important to trust yourself. When you focus on your own growth, you learn to listen to your inner voice and make decisions that feel right for you. Taking time for yourself is also essential in the process of self-growth. In a world that constantly demands our time and energy, it can be difficult to carve out time for ourselves. But if we don't take care of ourselves first, we won't be able to take care of anyone else. Self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Whether it's taking time to rest, meditate, read, or simply be alone with your thoughts, making time for yourself allows you to recharge and reconnect with your purpose. Focusing on yourself means learning to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes and we all have moments of doubt. But it's crucial to recognize that these moments do not define us. They are simply lessons that we can learn from. When you focus on your growth, you learn to be kind to yourself. You recognize that your worth is not determined by your past mistakes, but by the person you are becoming. Focusing on yourself is the first and most important step in the journey of personal growth. It means taking the time to understand who you are, what you want, and where you are going. It's about trusting yourself, setting clear goals, and making decisions that align with your values. It's a continuous process of learning, improving, and evolving. When you focus on yourself, you give yourself the opportunity to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Understanding who you truly are is the foundation for all growth. For so many of us, life becomes a journey of trying to please others, seeking approval, or fitting into societal molds. We are told what to think, how to behave, and what success should look like. But in this noise, we often lose sight of ourselves. We forget what makes us unique and what we truly desire. Understanding who you are is not just about identifying your strengths and weaknesses. It is about connecting with your deepest self and aligning your life with your true essence. The first step to understanding yourself is to spend time alone. In the busy rush of life, it can be difficult to hear your own voice. We are often surrounded by the voices of others. Family, friends, colleagues, each offering advice, opinions, and expectations. While this input can be valuable, it can also drown out your own thoughts. You cannot understand who you are when you are constantly being influenced by the noise around you. Silence allows you to tune in to your own feelings, desires, and intuition. It's only when you pause and step back from external distractions that you begin to hear what your heart truly wants. Once you embrace solitude, the next step is self-reflection. This is not just about thinking over your day or events in your life, but about diving deep into your mind and emotions. Ask yourself tough questions. What do I truly want from life? What makes me feel alive? What am I passionate about? What are my values? What are my fears? Self-reflection helps you uncover your core beliefs and desires. It allows you to see the patterns in your life, the choices you've made, the mistakes you've repeated, and the things you've avoided. These patterns tell you something about your fears, desires, and hidden motivations. By examining them, you can begin to understand your deeper self and the factors that have shaped your life up until now. Self-reflection is also about recognizing and accepting your flaws. Too often, we focus only on our strengths, thinking that they define us. But we must also face our weaknesses with compassion and understanding. Being self-aware is not about being perfect or flawless. It's about acknowledging that you are human and that growth requires recognizing where you need to improve. It's about being honest with yourself without judgment. You do not have to be ashamed of your flaws. They are simply areas where you can grow, evolve, and become stronger. Embrace these parts of yourself with love and acceptance. Another essential aspect of understanding yourself is discovering your passions and values. What drives you? What do you care about most in the world? When you understand your passions, you tap into an infinite source of motivation and energy. Passion is what fuels your dreams and gives you the strength to push through challenges. Your values, on the other hand, are the principles that guide your actions and decisions. They define what is most important to you. Whether it is family, honesty, creativity, or compassion, knowing your values helps you align your life with what truly matters to you. It gives you a compass, so you know which direction to go in when life gets confusing. Once you have an understanding of who you are, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with your authentic self. You are no longer swayed by the opinions or judgments of others because you know what is right for you. When you understand your desires and values, you make choices that bring you closer to your true self. You start saying no to things that don't serve your growth and yes to the opportunities that will help you fulfill your purpose. Understanding yourself also means accepting change. As you grow, you will evolve. You will discover new interests, change your beliefs, and reshape your values. This is a natural part of the human experience. What you wanted at one point in your life may no longer hold the same importance in another phase of your life. Embrace these changes and allow them to shape the person you are becoming. You do not have to be tied to who you were yesterday. As you understand yourself better, You will continuously shed old layers and step into the next version of yourself. Self-understanding is an ongoing process. It is not something that happens overnight or in a single moment of introspection. It is a lifetime of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. The more you understand yourself, the more empowered you become. You gain clarity, confidence, and the ability to navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction. When you are grounded in who you truly are, nothing can shake you. You are no longer lost in the noise of others, but firmly rooted in your own truth. This is where real growth begins. Growth is a journey that often involves challenges, setbacks, and even failures. While this may sound daunting, it is important to recognize that these difficulties are not obstacles to progress, but rather essential elements of the process. Every challenge, every setback, and every failure has the potential to teach us something valuable. When we face obstacles, we are presented with opportunities for growth that we would not otherwise encounter. These experiences shape us, refine our skills, and build our resilience, ultimately helping us move closer to our goals. The first step in embracing challenges as part of the growth process is to shift our perspective. Instead of seeing difficulties as threats, we must learn to view them as opportunities. This requires a mindset shift, recognizing that challenges are not here to defeat us, but to teach us something important. When you reframe challenges in this way, you begin to see them as a necessary part of your journey. Instead of feeling discouraged when you face an obstacle, you can feel empowered by the possibility of what you might learn from the experience. This shift in mindset is crucial because it enables you to stay focused on the bigger picture and remain motivated even when things get tough. One of the greatest challenges people face in the pursuit of growth is fear of failure. We are often taught that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. However, the truth is that failure is one of the most powerful teachers we have. When we fail, we are forced to confront our limitations and weaknesses. While this may feel uncomfortable, it is only by acknowledging where we fall short that we can begin to improve. Failure is not a sign that we are not good enough. It is simply a sign that we have the opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again. The fear of failure can hold us back from taking risks or trying new things, but if we embrace failure as part of the learning process, we give ourselves the freedom to grow without fear of making mistakes. Failure also plays a significant role in building resilience, which is an essential trait for growth. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity and keep going despite setbacks. It is not about avoiding challenges, but about how we respond to them. When we face difficulties and overcome them, we become stronger, more confident, and better equipped to handle future challenges. Each setback we face is an opportunity to build our resilience. With each failure, we learn how to get back on our feet and keep moving forward. This ability to persevere in the face of adversity is what ultimately leads to success and personal growth. Another key aspect of growth is learning how to embrace discomfort. Growth does not happen in a place of comfort. If we are always in our comfort zone, we are not pushing ourselves to improve. Personal growth requires stepping outside of what is familiar and taking on new challenges. This often means doing things that are difficult, uncertain, or even a little bit scary. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking on a new responsibility, or facing a fear, growth requires us to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. It is only when we push ourselves beyond our limits that we discover new strengths and abilities within ourselves. By choosing to confront discomfort rather than avoid it, we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth. The process of overcoming challenges and setbacks also requires patience. Growth takes time, and it is easy to become frustrated when things do not happen as quickly as we would like. However, personal growth is a gradual process that unfolds over time. Just as a plant takes time to grow from a seed into a fully mature plant, our growth as individuals requires patience and consistent effort. This is why it is so important to stay focused on the process, rather than obsessing over immediate results. When we focus on the long-term journey, we are better able to navigate challenges and setbacks without becoming discouraged. Furthermore, it is important to remember that not every challenge or failure is a direct result of our own actions. Life is unpredictable, and external factors can sometimes create obstacles that are beyond our control. However, how we respond to these challenges is still within our control. It is up to us to decide whether we will let external circumstances define us or whether we will rise above them and continue our pursuit of growth. This sense of agency is empowering, as it reminds us that we have the power to shape our own outcomes, even when faced with difficulties. As we grow and face challenges, it is also essential to surround ourselves with support. While growth is ultimately a personal journey, it does not mean we have to navigate it alone. Surrounding ourselves with people who uplift, support, and encourage us can make all the difference when we face challenges. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or colleagues, having a support system can help us stay motivated and remind us that we are not alone. These connections provide us with strength and perspective when we are struggling, and they can help us see challenges in a new light. Growth is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about learning how to face them head on. By embracing challenges, learning from failures, and developing resilience, we build the mental and emotional strength needed to continue moving forward. Each challenge we encounter is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving our goals. When we approach life with this mindset, we begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones to success. Letting go of toxic relationships is one of the most powerful steps you can take in your journey of personal growth. Toxic relationships, whether they are with family, friends, co-workers, or romantic partners, can drain your energy, diminish your self-worth, and create a constant source of negativity in your life. These relationships are often characterized by manipulation, emotional abuse, dishonesty, and a lack of respect for your boundaries. While it can be difficult to recognize and even harder to let go of these relationships, doing so is essential for your well-being and growth. The first step in letting go of toxic relationships is recognizing the signs. These relationships are not always overtly harmful. In fact, they can sometimes appear to be supportive or caring, making it difficult to see their true nature. However, there are often subtle signs of toxicity. You may feel drained or exhausted after spending time with the person, as though you've given more than you've received. You may find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly trying to avoid conflict or criticism. In some cases, the person may constantly undermine you, making you doubt your abilities, your decisions, and even your worth. Over time, this can erode your confidence and sense of self. It is also important to pay attention to how you feel when you are around this person. Do you feel constantly anxious, worried, or upset? Are you made to feel small, insignificant, or unworthy? These feelings are often indicators that the relationship is toxic. Healthy relationships should leave you feeling uplifted, respected, and valued, not emotionally drained or diminished. If you consistently feel worse about yourself after interactions with someone, it may be time to reassess the relationship. Once you recognize that a relationship is toxic, the next step is to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any relationship, but they are especially crucial when dealing with toxic individuals. Boundaries are the limits you set in terms of how much emotional, mental, and physical energy you are willing to invest in the relationship. Setting boundaries may involve limiting the time you spend with the person, restricting the topics of conversation, or even cutting off communication entirely. This can be a challenging process, especially if the person has been a significant part of your life for a long time, but it is necessary for your well-being. Establishing boundaries is not just about distancing yourself from negative behavior, it is also about protecting your mental and emotional health. When you allow someone to continuously violate your boundaries, you send the message that their behavior is acceptable. They boundemmers and riari are the ones that made them feel safe and fulsk them geen. You are taking control of the relationship and, more importantly, taking control of your life. It's important to communicate these boundaries clearly and assertively. You don't need to apologize for protecting yourself or your peace. In fact, it's crucial that you prioritize your own mental and emotional health over the demands of others. Letting go of a toxic relationship may also involve confronting difficult emotions, such as guilt. Many people struggle with guilt when ending a toxic relationship, especially if they've known the person for a long time or if the relationship is family-based. You may feel guilty about disappointing the person, hurting their feelings, or abandoning them when they need you. However, it is important to remember that your responsibility is to yourself first. You cannot continue to sacrifice your own happiness and well-being for someone else's benefit. If the relationship is not mutually respectful and supportive, it is not serving you, and it is okay to walk away. Another challenge in letting go of toxic relationships is dealing with the fear of loneliness. Often, people hold on to toxic relationships because they fear being alone. They may feel that any relationship, even a negative one, is better than being alone. However, true growth happens when we learn to be comfortable with ourselves. When you let go of a toxic relationship, you create space in your life for healthier, more positive connections. It may take time to build these new relationships, but they will be based on mutual respect, trust, and support. You will find that being alone is not the same as being lonely. In fact, it is often in solitude that we find our true strength, clarity, and direction. Letting go of toxic relationships is not always easy, but it is an essential part of personal growth. It allows you to reclaim your energy, your self-worth, and your peace of mind. It frees you from the constant emotional drain that toxic people place on your life and creates space for you to focus on your own goals and aspirations. By letting go, you are making room for more positive, supportive, and nurturing relationships. You are also learning to value yourself enough to know that you deserve to be surrounded by people who treat you with kindness, respect, and love. Although it can be painful and challenging, the process of letting go is ultimately liberating and empowering. It is a key step in becoming the best version of yourself. Appreciating the present moment is one of the most transformative practices for personal growth. In a world that constantly urges us to look ahead, chase the next goal, or fixate on the future, it is easy to overlook the beauty and significance of the present moment. We often find ourselves living in a state of perpetual anticipation, always waiting for the next milestone or achievement before we allow ourselves to feel content. But in doing so, we miss out on the richness that the present holds. Learning to appreciate the here and now is essential for true fulfillment and peace. One of the key reasons we fail to appreciate the present moment is because we are often consumed by thoughts of the past or future. We think about what we could have done differently or worry about what might happen next. These thoughts pull us away from the present, preventing us from fully experiencing and appreciating what is right in front of us. When we dwell on past mistakes or anxieties about the future, we rob ourselves of the ability to engage fully with our current experiences. The truth is, the past is gone and the future is uncertain. The only moment that truly matters is the one we are living right now. By focusing on the present, we allow ourselves to fully engage with life as it unfolds, rather than being distracted by things we cannot change or control. Learning to appreciate the present also requires mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It is about paying attention to the details of our everyday experiences, whether it's the taste of our food, the sound of the wind, or the people we are spending time with. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to rush through each moment without truly experiencing it. We eat our meals while distracted, talk to others while thinking about something else, and go through our daily routines on autopilot. Mindfulness encourages us to slow down and be present, to truly savor each moment, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This practice helps us cultivate a deeper appreciation for life, making each experience richer and more meaningful. When we appreciate the present, we also learn to find contentment in the now. We stop waiting for the perfect moment or the next achievement before allowing ourselves to feel happy or fulfilled. We begin to realize that happiness is not something that is dependent on external circumstances. It is something we can choose to experience right now. This shift in perspective allows us to let go of the constant desire for more and instead focus on what we already have. When we appreciate the present, we cultivate gratitude, which is one of the most powerful forces for happiness and contentment. Gratitude helps us recognize the value in the simple things, the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a loved one's presence, or the joy of a good conversation. By practicing gratitude, we train our minds to focus on what is good and positive in our lives, rather than what is lacking or missing. Appreciating the present also means accepting where we are in life right now. It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly striving for more success, more achievements, more possessions. But when we constantly chase after the next thing, we never truly appreciate what we have in the moment. Acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It means being at peace with where you are right now, while still working toward your goals. It means acknowledging that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't look the way you expected. By accepting the present, you release the pressure of constantly needing to do more, achieve more, or be more. You give yourself permission to just be. This acceptance allows you to experience peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. Furthermore, appreciating the present moment strengthens our relationships with others. When we are fully present with the people in our lives, we show them that they matter. In a world filled with distractions, truly being present with someone is a rare and valuable gift. When we listen attentively, engage meaningfully, and give our undivided attention to those we care about, we deepen our connections and create lasting bonds. These moments of presence are what truly nourish our relationships, not the material gifts we give or the grand gestures we make. It's the simple moments of shared laughter, quiet conversations, and genuine connection that form the foundation of strong, fulfilling relationships. Appreciating the present also helps us manage stress and anxiety. Much of our anxiety comes from worrying about things that may or may not happen in the future. By focusing on the present, we reduce the power of these worries. We learn to trust that we have the resources to handle whatever comes our way. When we focus on the here and now, we are less likely to get overwhelmed by everything that is out of our control. This sense of calm allows us to move through life with more ease and less stress. By being present, we learn to navigate challenges with a clearer mind, knowing that we are equipped to handle whatever arises. Incorporating appreciation for the present moment into our daily lives may not always be easy, especially when we are caught up in the rush of modern life. But with practice, we can begin to shift our focus and make mindfulness a natural part of our routine. As we do so, we find that life becomes more enjoyable, meaningful, and fulfilling. By appreciating the present, We unlock the ability to live fully in each moment, experiencing the richness that life has to offer. Personal growth is not a one-time event, but a continuous process that unfolds over time. It is a journey of self-discovery, learning, and improvement that requires patience, persistence, and dedication. One of the most important aspects of this journey is the understanding that growth is not always immediate. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's rarely linear. It involves setbacks, challenges, and failures, but each of these moments contributes to our overall development. Real personal growth takes time and is shaped by the experiences we go through and the lessons we learn from them. The first thing to understand about the process of growth is that it is an ongoing experience. While there may be moments where you feel like you've reached a point of success or self-actualization, personal growth doesn't stop there. Even when you achieve a goal or overcome a challenge, new challenges will emerge, and new opportunities for growth will arise. This means that growth is not defined by a final destination, but rather by the continuous journey itself. It's about always striving to be better, to learn more, and to evolve. Personal growth is not a race. It's a lifelong commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Another important aspect of growth is understanding that it happens at its own pace. We live in a world where instant gratification is often expected, whether it's through technology, social media, or other aspects of modern life. However, real growth is rarely immediate. It requires time to reflect, learn from experiences, and make adjustments along the way. Trying to rush the process can often lead to frustration and burnout. When we learn to be patient with ourselves and trust that growth takes time, we are more likely to achieve lasting and meaningful progress. Growth requires nurturing and care, and just like a plant, it needs the right environment and conditions to flourish. In some moments, growth may feel slow, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Even small, incremental improvements are part of the bigger picture. Patience is key because it also allows us to learn from our failures. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned or when we face setbacks. But it's important to recognize that failure is not the end of the road. It's part of the process. Every failure provides valuable lessons that help us grow. It teaches us what doesn't work, what we need to improve, and where we need to put more effort. When we approach failure with a mindset of growth, we see it as a stepping stone, not an obstacle. Each failure brings us closer to our goal because it provides insight that helps us refine our approach and move forward more wisely. This also means that we have to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in our comfort zones. It happens when we push ourselves to try new things, take risks, and face challenges head on. This is where patience comes into play because stepping out of our comfort zones is often uncomfortable. It's easy to avoid new challenges or stick to what we know, but true growth requires us to expand our limits and push beyond what feels familiar. When we make the decision to grow, we are choosing to experience discomfort because we know that on the other side of that discomfort lies transformation. Whether it's learning a new skill, overcoming a fear, or navigating a difficult situation, each challenge is an opportunity to expand our boundaries. At the same time, growth is deeply personal and everyone's journey is different. What works for one person may not work for another, and it's important to respect your own unique path. Comparisons to others can often hinder growth as they lead to self-doubt or feelings of inadequacy. Everyone is at a different stage in their journey, and just because someone else may be moving faster or achieving more doesn't mean you are falling behind. Personal growth is not about competing with others, but about competing with yourself. It's about pushing your own limits, breaking your own records, and striving to become better than you were yesterday. Understanding that everyone grows at their own pace helps you embrace your journey without feeling pressured or discouraged. One of the most crucial elements of growth is the ability to reflect. Without reflection, growth would not be possible. Reflection allows us to examine our experiences, assess what we have learned, and determine where we need to improve. It's through this process of reflection that we gain the insight we need to keep evolving. Whether it's taking time at the end of each day to review your actions or revisiting long-term goals, reflection helps you stay on track and ensures that your growth is meaningful. It is not just about moving forward, but about understanding why you are moving forward and how you can do so in a way that is authentic and aligned with your values. Lastly, growth involves developing resilience. It's not about avoiding difficulties, but learning how to overcome them with strength and perseverance. When challenges arise, resilience helps us bounce back, adapt, and keep moving forward. This ability to persevere in the face of adversity is what allows us to achieve long-term growth. It teaches us that setbacks are not final, but rather temporary obstacles that can be overcome with determination, patience, and a willingness to keep going, even when things seem tough. Building resilience helps us face the inevitable ups and downs of life with a sense of confidence and assurance that we will get through them. In conclusion, personal growth is a journey that takes time and patience. It is not an event or a destination, but a continuous process of learning, evolving, and improving. The key to success in this process is to be patient with yourself, to embrace discomfort, and to learn from both your successes and failures. Growth happens at its own pace, and by trusting the process, reflecting on your experiences, and developing resilience, you will find yourself constantly becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Building a life based on your own values and passions is one of the most empowering choices you can make. When you live authentically aligned with your true self, your actions are driven by what genuinely matters to you, rather than by external pressures or the expectations of others. This sense of alignment provides a deep sense of fulfillment, clarity, and purpose. The key to building such a life starts with identifying what you truly value and what excites you, as these are the core elements that will guide your decisions and shape your future. The first step in building a life based on your values is understanding what those values are. Values are the principles or standards that are most important to you, what you believe in, what you care about, and what you hold dear. These can include things like integrity, creativity, love, freedom, success, adventure, or community. It's easy to live life according to other people's values, what society tells us is important, or what our family or friends expect of us. But living this way often leads to dissatisfaction and a lack of purpose. To truly thrive, you need to take the time to explore what you believe in, what makes you feel alive, and what brings you joy. Reflect on your past experiences and identify the moments when you felt most connected to yourself. What were you doing? Who were you with? These moments can offer important clues about your core values. Once you have a clearer understanding of your values, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with them. Every day, you face countless decisions, whether big or small, that shape your life. When you make choices based on your values, you create a life that is meaningful and consistent with who you are. For example, if you value freedom and independence, you may choose a career path that allows you to work for yourself or set your own schedule. If you value family and community, you may prioritize spending time with loved ones and contributing to your local community. When you live in accordance with your values, you feel more confident and empowered in your decisions because you know they are aligned with your true self. Passion plays a crucial role in building a life you love. Passion is the fire that fuels your journey. It's what excites you, what makes you feel energized, and what you would pursue even if there were no external rewards. Whether it's art, technology, education, or social causes, passion gives you the drive to push through challenges and stay committed to your goals. Building a life around your passions doesn't mean you have to turn them into a career, but it does mean making time for the things that light you up. When you incorporate passion into your daily life, you experience a greater sense of fulfillment and joy. Passion adds purpose to everything you do, and it makes even the most mundane tasks feel meaningful. Living a life based on your values and passions also involves letting go of what no longer serves you. As you grow and evolve, your priorities and interests may change, and that's okay. Sometimes this means letting go of relationships, habits, or commitments that no longer align with who you are. It can be difficult to release these things, especially if they have been a part of your life for a long time. But holding on to things that don't serve your growth can keep you stuck. By clearing space for what truly matters, you create room for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that better align with your values and passions. This process of letting go is not about abandoning people or things, but about creating the freedom to live authentically and move toward the life you truly desire. When you build a life based on your values and passions, you also become more resilient. Life is full of ups and downs, and challenges are inevitable. However, when you have a clear sense of purpose and a deep connection to what matters most to you, it becomes easier to navigate these challenges. Your values act as a compass, helping you stay grounded and focused even when things get tough. Passion gives you the energy and determination to keep going, even when faced with obstacles. Knowing that you are living in alignment with your true self provides a sense of inner strength that can carry you through difficult times. In addition, living authentically attracts the right people and opportunities into your life. When you live in a way that reflects your true values, you naturally draw people who resonate with those same values. These are the people who will support you, inspire you, and help you grow. Building a life based on your passions and values also opens doors to opportunities that are in alignment with your vision. When you are clear about who you are and what you want, the universe seems to conspire to bring you what you need to succeed. Your authenticity is magnetic, and it often leads to experiences and relationships that are fulfilling and rewarding. Furthermore, living a life based on your values and passions allows you to make a positive impact on the world around you. When you are clear about what you care about, you can channel your energy and resources into causes or endeavors that contribute to the greater good. Whether it's through your career, volunteer work, or simply how you interact with others, living authentically gives you the opportunity to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those around you. Building a life based on your values and passions is an ongoing process, and it may require regular self-reflection and adjustments along the way. As you grow and evolve, your values and passions may shift, and that's perfectly normal. The key is to stay in tune with yourself, listen to your heart, and make decisions that honor who you are at each stage of your journey. When you live authentically, you create a life that is not only fulfilling for you, but also inspiring to others. It is a life that reflects your true essence, and that is the most powerful life you can build. Personal development is a lifelong journey, and one of the most powerful tools for this journey is introspection. It's the process of looking inward, reflecting on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to gain a deeper understanding of who you are and where you are headed. When you take the time to truly examine yourself, you open the door to profound growth and self-improvement. Introspection is not just about thinking over events. It's about analyzing them with purpose and intention. It's about asking yourself the right questions and being open to the answers, no matter how challenging they might be. At its core, introspection is about getting clear on your values, beliefs, and desires. Many of us go through life without ever taking the time to really think about what we truly care about. We get caught up in the demands of others or in what society expects, and as a result, we can lose sight of what really matters to us. By practicing introspection, you start to uncover what you truly believe in, what your priorities are, and what motivates you. This clarity allows you to make decisions that align with your authentic self, rather than being swayed by external pressures. When you understand your values, you are empowered to live a life that is true to who you are, not one that is dictated by the expectations of others. Introspection also allows you to recognize your patterns of thinking and behavior. It's about becoming aware of the things you do automatically, often without even realizing it. These patterns can be helpful, but they can also be limiting. Perhaps you have a tendency to procrastinate, avoid conflict, or fall into negative thinking. When you introspect, you can begin to identify these patterns and understand why they exist. Why do you avoid confrontation? Why do you feel the need to please others? Once you recognize these patterns, you can start to change them. It's not enough to just notice them. Introspection requires you to dive deeper into the reasons behind them. What is the underlying belief that drives this behavior? Are these beliefs serving you, or are they holding you back? By questioning your patterns and beliefs, you can break free from the automatic responses that have been controlling your life. Another important aspect of introspection is emotional awareness. Many of us move through life without fully understanding our emotions or how they influence our actions. We may feel angry, frustrated, or sad, but we don't always take the time to explore why we feel this way or what those emotions are telling us. Emotions are powerful signals that can guide us towards self-awareness. For example, if you feel frustrated in a situation, introspection allows you to explore what is at the root of that frustration. Is it a lack of control, a fear of failure? Understanding the deeper emotional drivers behind your feelings can help you respond in a more conscious and constructive way. Rather than reacting impulsively, introspection helps you choose your actions based on a clear understanding of your emotions. Introspection is also essential for personal accountability. It's easy to blame others for our problems or to make excuses when things don't go as planned. But introspection invites you to take responsibility for your own actions and decisions. When you ask yourself hard questions like, what part did I play in this situation? Or what could I have done differently? You open yourself up to personal growth. Accountability is not about blaming yourself. It's about recognizing your role in shaping your life and taking ownership of your choices. This self-awareness creates the foundation for real change, as you can start making conscious decisions to do better and improve your life. While introspection is a valuable tool for understanding yourself, it's important to approach it with compassion and curiosity, not judgment. Many people shy away from self-reflection because they fear what they might find, or because they don't want to face uncomfortable truths. But introspection is not about criticizing yourself. It's about uncovering insights that can lead to positive change. When you look at yourself through a lens of kindness and curiosity, you allow yourself to grow without fear of failure or perfection. Embrace the process of self-exploration as a journey of discovery, not an exercise in self-criticism. Another key benefit of introspection is that it helps you gain clarity about your goals and direction. Often we move through life without really knowing what we want. We may have vague desires or dreams, but without introspection, we can struggle to define them clearly. Through reflection, you can start to understand what you truly want to achieve in your life. What are your long-term goals? What do you want to create or experience? When you know what you want, you can take intentional steps to move toward it. Introspection allows you to create a vision for your life that is based on what you truly desire, rather than on what others expect from you. By making introspection a regular practice, you create a powerful habit of self-awareness that will serve you throughout your life. It is not a one-time activity, but an ongoing process of learning and growth. As you continue to reflect on your experiences and learn from them, you will develop a deeper understanding of yourself, your motivations, and your potential. Introspection allows you to see the world through a clearer lens, making it easier to navigate challenges, make decisions, and live a life that is aligned with your true self.
I got time and you got soul, racing through the night. We go where the wild ones go, out of sound, out of sight. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. We don't know a single bit, so we fly, 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 oh la la la, right into the light. Head high into the wind, headstrong where the wild begins. Head high into the wind, Sierra Luna, can you feel the spin? Head high into the wind, no maps and no pretend. Head high into the wind, Sierra Luna, let the night begin. Don't call me back, don't call me back, call me to a